Hey everybody, Mark here for part 3 of the Recharge series. I hope the first 2 parts were encouraging there for you to help get you back on track to better serve God with all the encouragement that we need so that He can carry us through day to day. Here with part 3. And in this part, we're going to cover connection. So we covered the reflection, that's obviously finding where your outlets are. And then we covered energize, which was actually plugging into those outlets. Now we're going to make sure the connection is good. It doesn't matter if you find the outlets and then plug in your cord. If it's severed at the end, the connection's not going to do anything. So turn on over in number 1 to John chapter 15, 1 through 5. It says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can ye, except ye abide in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit, for without me ye can do nothing. Here, of course, we see the definition of connect. We got to make sure we are connected to the true vine. The true vine is, of course, Jesus Christ himself. The word connect there means to join, unite, or cohere, to have a close relation with. And that's really what we're focusing on today, your connections. Look over at Ecclesiastes number 2, Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 through 12. And here we're going to see that connection brings power and purpose. 4, 9 through 12. It says, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. He has no connection. And if, verse 11, again, if 2 lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, 2 shall withstand him. A threefold cord is not quickly broken. Here we see that connection here brings power and purpose. It allows you to help others. It allows others to help you. It allows God to walk with you. It allows you to hear and listen to God. And then, of course, follow him. Look over at Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 8. And it says here, and the Lord, he it is that doth go before thee. He will be with thee. He will not fail thee, neither forsake thee. Fear not, neither be dismayed. What I want you to see here is God's design is that we do not walk alone. He wants fellowship with us. We are the ones that consistently walk away. Make sure that you are giving him what his heart desires, which is, of course, you. That's what he wants. And if you look over at 1 Corinthians 1:10, we're not going to read it right now, but you're going to see there's strength in unity. There is strength in unity. That's why he gives us a church body to hang out with, to share spiritual victories with, to share spiritual troubles with. There's strength in unity. Number 3, look over at 1 Corinthians 12, verses 12 through 14. He expects us to connect with one another. It says here, for as the body is one and hath many members, and all the members of that one body being many are one body, so also is Christ. For by one Spirit are we all baptized into one body, whether we be Jews or Gentiles, whether we be bond or free, and all have been made to drink into one Spirit. Of course, that's being those that are saved. For if the body is not one member, but many, meaning your body has a lot of members, some you might not even think about ever. But it doesn't mean they're not important to your body. They make a difference in your body. You got to be connected to one another. Be connected to one another. Look over at Ephesians 4, 3 through 6. Ephesians 4, 3 through 6. It says, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit and the bond of peace. There is one body, one Spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all, and in you all. Here we see that the real connection builds the church. Disconnection will weaken the church, and that is never God's plan. Look at verses 15 and 16. It says, but speaking the truth in love may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Christ. Christ is the head of the church, from whom the whole body fitly joined together. We just saw the church body is what we're talking about here. Christ is the head, the whole body fitly joined together by God, and compacted by that which every joint supplieth, meaning everybody has a role, according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, maketh increase of the body unto the edifying of itself, the lifting up of itself in love. We need to connect with one another. That connection is going to be important. And of course, we need to be connecting with Christ. We saw that in John 15:5 here in number 4. We need to be connecting with Christ. He is the vine. We are the branches. We cannot live without the vine giving us the nourishment that we need. That's the connection with Christ. He is our source of life and strength. Comes from Christ. Comes from Christ. And now I want to take you over. I want to give you 2 Bible examples. Look at 1 Samuel 15, verse 26. This is number 5, 1 Samuel 15, 26. It says, and Samuel said unto Saul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord hath rejected thee from being king over Israel. You know, we need a good example of what not to do when it comes to connection. And Saul here is a great example of what not to do when it comes to connection. Here we see Saul lost connection, but we see what he tried to do is he tried to manufacture another type of connection, and that didn't work. Look over at 1 Samuel 28, verses 4 through 7. It says, and the Philistines gathered themselves together and came and pitched in Shunem, and Saul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not. We saw back in 1 Samuel 16, God said, I'm taking you away from being king. That connection is over. So here, of course, Philistines are attacking. Saul's praying, but God's not answering. The Lord answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. Then said Saul unto his servants, seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servant said to him, behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit at Endor. Be very careful. If you are praying and God is not answering, wait on God. Repent, turn back, and say, God, I messed up. Lord, please forgive me. Claim 1 John 1:9. That's the Christian bar of soap. And get that connection right. Do not do what Saul did and try to manufacture another connection. He said, okay, God's not answering me. The prophets aren't helping me. Nothing is helping me. I'm going to go to this lady that can draw up a familiar spirit. What she ends up doing is drawing up Samuel so that he can try to help me. I'm going to go with that kind of a connection. And look at verses 15 through 19. It says, and Samuel said to Saul, why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me, and answereth me no more, neither by prophets nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do. Then said Samuel, wherefore then dost thou ask of me, seeing the Lord is departed from thee, and become thine enemy? Bad connection. And the Lord hath done to him as he spake by me, for the Lord hath rent the kingdom out of thine hand, and giveth it to thy neighbor, even to David. Because thou obeyedest not the voice of the Lord, nor executest his fierce wrath upon Amalek, Therefore hath the Lord done this thing unto thee this day. Moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines, and tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me. The Lord also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hand of the Philistines. Important part here. Saul was saved because, of course, Samuel was saved. Samuel at this point is in Abraham's bosom. Christ had not yet died on the cross. So Samuel here says, hey, Saul, when you die, you're going to be with me. It doesn't mean God left Saul. Saul was saved. He had the Holy Spirit within him. And so he was going to go where Samuel went. But it doesn't mean the connection was good. God did not rent the salvation from Saul. God rent the kingdom from Saul. Very important distinction to make. A little sidebar to connection. But I want you to understand, Saul's connection was broken when he sinned. He never repaired that connection with God. And now he tried to manufacture a different connection. And Samuel said, it's over. It's over. Don't ever get in that position. Now I want to show you before we end, look at Mark chapter 14, verse 32 through 36. Always our greatest example of connection with God would be Jesus Christ himself. It says, but of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. Wait a minute. Yep, I'm sorry. Mark 14, 32 through 36. It says, and they came to a place which was named Gethsemane, and he saith to his disciples, sit ye here while I shall pray. And he taketh with him Peter and James and John, and began to be sore amazed, and to be very heavy, and saith unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful unto death, tarry ye here and watch. And he went forward a little, and fell on the ground, and prayed, that if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. And he said, Abba, Father, all things are possible unto thee. Take away this cup from me. Nevertheless, not what I will, but what thou wilt. The Father always heard Jesus. Why? Because he did always the things that pleased him. That kept his connection strong. Kept his connection strong. Look at verses 41 through 43 in Mark 14. It says, and he cometh the third time, and saith unto them, sleep on now, and take your rest. It is enough. The hour is come. Behold, the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise up, let us go. Lo, he that betrayeth me is at hand. And immediately, while he yet spake, cometh Judas, one of the 12, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves from the chief priests and the scribes and the elders. What Jesus needed there was encouragement from the Father. And he got it because he went to Calvary for us. That's what a strong connection will do. When you have a strong connection with God, we can do all things because he will give us the strength to do things for him. What a great story. What a great passage. He connected with God when he needed power, and God delivered to fulfill his will. So your action for this week, we need to be connected to the right power source. Make sure you reflect, find the outlets, make sure you energize, plug in. But by all means, make sure your connection is good. Keep the connection to God strong through consistent prayer, Bible, and serving. Watch your spiritual breakers. That's what I will remind you here. Make sure that your connection never pops. That breaker doesn't pop and all of a sudden you realize, hey, you know what? I don't feel like, why is God so far from me? Make sure that spiritual breaker is always on. And make sure you connect with a brother or sister this week to strengthen the brethren. Reflection is a must to be energized. To stay energized, you have to stay connected. Follow the steps this week. And I pray this lesson was a blessing for you. Till we talk again.